hours do you work out to look like that?
I don't work out.
Yeah, so how often do you meet with a dietitian?
Never. I don't go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and if my co-host could open up the doors and let those that are here waiting to be live with us, because we do this show live, and you, if you are out on one of our platforms or even watching a replay, you are personally invited to join us here on Daily with Doc. So we run this program most Mondays through Fridays from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time, and it's super simple to join us. In your URL address bar, not the Google search or the Safari search, but in the address bar, type in dailywithdoczoom.com, all one word, dailywithdoczoom.com. And you will be able to come right over into our waiting room where we will let you in during the time of the show. So if you're there and you're sitting there wondering, how come I'm not being let in? Well, we open the doors and close the doors at the time of the show. So just hang out or join us back during this time, 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. This program is being sponsored by DailywithDoc.com. We are a group of independent associates who are coaches with a passion for helping people find a better health journey. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the leader of this group of coaches, I am also the director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, where we train people on the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then use a line of product that we have found to be solutions for correcting those deficiencies. If you would like more information about becoming a certified holistic health coach, get with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, go to coachwithdoc.com. That is coachwithdoc.com. Now, in this program, we do have to let you know that this program is for educational purposes only on the importance of intentional nutritional supplementation, folks. Our food is null and void of the nutrition that our body actually needs to be beyond just surviving. We are all about thriving, and it is very possible when you are intentional about what you do and don't put in your mouth. Now, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any different condition or disease. But folks, the man that we have with us during this time is one of the founding fathers of a science called epigenetics. If you've never heard of epigenetics and you've been told that you have a genetic condition, well, I'm hoping that you find, like I did, the hope that this science of epigenetics brings. Because epigenetics has proven the theory of disease transmission through genetics to be incorrect. That means that even if we so-called have these conditions that our mother and our grandmother and our father and grandfather have or had, we don't have to be stuck with them. Now, there are birth defects that are caused by nutritional deficiencies. And you're going to hear more about those today. I absolutely know it, because that's one of this doctor's passions, is to help those babies come into this world as healthier individuals so that they can live full, long lives. If I can get Dr. Wallach to join me here on the screen. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc. So I know today we're going to be talking about hard tissue, which is one, and we're just going to be touching on it, but that's one of the 4 areas of health that we teach about at the Institute of Holistic Health. And the majority of our research, which has been supported many times by resources since, just proves that what you found is correct. And I have Joe out on YouTube saying, not meant to cure, but it sure fixed my issues. So, and I'm with you, Joe. I mean, Dr. Wallach, your research and the formulas that you are instrumental in putting together have helped a lot of people. So tell us about hard tissue and what causes hard tissue. What is hard tissue? What causes the hard tissue decline? And then what are some solutions?
Okay, well, hard tissue, we're talking about bones, we're talking about cartilage, tendons, ligaments, those kind of things. Everything to do with your skeleton. And joints are a little more complicated than the bone. The bone is primarily bone, where a joint is bone and cartilage, and tendons and ligaments. So a joint is a little more complicated. And it's one of those things where I saw a lot of that when I was a little kid. My father was a champion boxer with the
I'm about to spill my secret that's given all of my clients the lips of their dreams. Seriously, I'm talking about plum.
what? The
Was he lightweight, heavyweight, welterweight?
yeah, he was a bantamweight, less than lightweight. Okay, and and of course we would go to the gym every day. I'm only 3-4 years old. We go to the gym and see all these guys, big guys, heavyweights and middleweights and lightweights and bantamweights like my dad, and they would be working out on hitting the bags and running and lifting weights and stuff like that, climbing on ropes to get different muscles involved. And so I grew up in a system by which everybody I saw was either throwing bales of hay onto the wagons or off the wagons or at the gym, okay, working out at the gym. And so exercise and work exercise was very, very common to me, okay? To make a long story short, the cost just to treat the symptoms of arthritis in the United States, which is, we're talking about joints, is $626.8 billion. $626.8 billion. Okay, when you look at all the common diseases we deal with, it is the most expensive disease, arthritis, except for osteoporosis. Osteoporosis, when you look at osteoporosis, which is the bones primarily, and usually does not include the joints. Osteoporosis in America is $2.3 trillion. And that's just to treat the symptoms. And when you take three communities, United States, Canada, and the EU, European Union, we spend $6.5 trillion a year just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, not to prevent it or cure it. This is very scary stuff, okay? Because very simple nutritional deficiency diseases, I repeat that, they're just simple nutritional deficiency diseases. And we're paying all this money just to treat nutritional symptoms, nutritional deficiency diseases, when if we would just take supplements, okay, like we give our animals, and we give supplements for animals. When I was 9 years old, I was going to be hospitalized because I had all kinds of behavioral problems and physical problems and so forth. And I just started eating animal foods that were super saturated with supplemental vitamins and minerals. And I cured myself in 3 days. I didn't have to get institutionalized. So I realized that the reason why we don't have health insurance for animals is because we're putting all these vitamins and minerals into their food. And so I said, well, why don't we do that for humans? Well, the doctors say just eat everything, just eat well and get everything you need. Well, that may have been partially true many years ago, but it's certainly not true at all now. When I say partially true some years ago, you have to appreciate it. You go back 3,000 years ago in the Old Testament, people knew that people live longer and were healthier when they came from lands flowing with milk and honey. Okay, was that cow's milk, goat's milk, sheep's milk? I mean, whose milk was it? Well, it turns out it wasn't any of that. It was glacial milk. The glaciers grinding up the rocks at the top of the mountains, and when the snow and the glaciers would melt, the water would come down in a stream. And it looked like milk coming down the side of the mountain. So that's where they got the term, but they didn't have the ability to analyze stuff 3,000 years ago. And there were all kinds of stories in the Old Testament, 21 stories that deal with the land flowing with milk and honey. And we're talking about over 100 mentions of the land flowing milk and honey in the Old Testament. Adam lived to be 930, Noah lived to be 950, Methuselah lived to be 969, and many, many other people who came from these lands flowing with milk and honey, angels who did God's work, okay, and taking the message all around the world. They lived to be 800, 700, 600, okay? And guess what? When you look at the Hunzas, the Himalayan mountains, are still living in a place where they get the glacial milk, and their life expectancy is 120. They don't have any medical doctors. Their life expectancy is 120. We have the finest medical doctors on earth. Just ask them. And our life expectancy, depending on whose numbers you're looking at, is 71 to 75. So what's the difference? Well, the land flowing with milk and honey. They're getting all these minerals coming from the melted glaciers, bringing down the rock dust into their drinking water, their irrigation water, and so forth. Even make their wine with the this glacial milk. Okay, so they're getting minerals. That's why they live so long. So without more said about that, I do want to talk more about what we can do now. We know this, okay? We have some very famous people. Theo Ratliff, a great basketball player, 24 years old. He had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees. He had bone-to-bone arthritis in his hips. He had fractures in his shooting arm, wrist, his right hand. And so he lost his contract, which was $35 million. And what did it say? One of his buddies in professional basketball, okay, brought him to me. And Mike Glenn was the guy's name. Great, the Stinger. He was called the Stinger. And okay, the Stinger brought Theo Ratliff to me. And we came up with what we called the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. It was our Healthy Start Pack with the 90 essential nutrients in it. And we came up with our first collagen product. It was called Glucogel. We added the Glucogel to the Healthy Brain, to the Healthy Start Pack, and we called it the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And in 3 or 4 months now, Theo Ratliff got another contract, and he played for 11 years, made over $100 million. And I was so very proud of him. He could have taken all that money and run, but what he did, he actually purchased a very large land and building facility. Okay, it was an activity center, and makes the information free to kids who want to either play sports or want to get into professions like being doctors and lawyers and that sort of stuff. So I thought it was really gracious to him. He didn't have to do that, but he did it. And so this is the kind of people we're working with. Another great athlete, Evander Holyfield, great champion. He had heart issues and couldn't answer the bell for his final round in protecting his heavyweight championship. So he lost his heavyweight championship by default. So he came up with a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for him. Okay. And after just like 6 months, he came back and just destroyed Mike Tyson, who through a series of events had gotten the heavyweight title. And he just destroyed Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson bit his ears off because he knew he was losing the match. Okay. And so this is the sort of things we do with our programs. Okay. And right now we have programs for 600 different diseases. We sold our licenses for jewelry and that kind of perfume and that kind of stuff. So we used to have 5,000 products with the jewelry and so forth. But now, because we got rid of the jewelry and perfume and that kind of stuff, we now have 3,000 products. Okay. So we're very excited about that. And It's one of those things where this is much broader than people think. When you get osteoporosis of the skull, okay, it squeezes the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the spinal cord. You lose your sense of smell. That's cranial nerve number one. You get optic nerve atrophy, and you get glaucoma. Pressure in the eye goes up. You get macular degeneration, which is a part of the eye in the back of the eye where the optic nerve and the optic vein come in and out of. Okay, and when the second cranial nerve gets squeezed, third cranial nerve, you get ptosis. Pupil doesn't respond to light. Fourth cranial nerve gets squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull. You get double vision. Okay, and then trigeminal neuralgia. I mean, we're talking about pain. Trigeminal neuralgia, pain. That's the fifth cranial nerve being squeezed. The sixth cranial nerve being squeezed, you get double vision. It's called strabismus. And then Bell's palsy. One part of your face will droop. One side of your face will droop. That's the seventh cranial nerve being squeezed. Okay. And then let's see here. When the eighth cranial nerve gets squeezed, it has two main branches. You get tinnitus, okay, ringing in the ears, and deafness, which is self-explanatory. And then vertigo is a different branch. That's the vestibular branch of the eighth cranial nerve. When you get all of them, vertigo, deafness, and tinnitus, it's called Meniere's disease. Ninth cranial nerve gets squeezed. It's the glossopharyngeal nerve. You lose your sense of taste. You have a gag reflex problem and swallowing and all that kind of stuff. Your voice changes. 10th cranial nerve gets squeezed. It's called gastroparesis. An inch and a half to 2 inches thick, and it's from connective tissue because the skull is gone. But it's repairable. Usually then, I've seen it happen in weeks. You're starting to see improvement. And we have all kinds of stuff going on here in just weeks when you give it the right thing. When you just treat the symptoms, this is a lifetime issue. But when you treat the cause, osteoporosis of the skull, guess what? Things get better quickly. Okay, I think with that, I'm going to turn this back over to Rebecca here.
All right, thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. So there's so many things that you have discovered, those things being symptoms that are associated with hard tissue, the hard tissue being associated with osteoporosis, which osteoporosis is not just in a hip or a leg or the hands, but osteoporosis of the skull, folks. I mean, if you can get osteoporosis in any other area of the body, why not the skull? It's a bone too. Right, Doc?
That's correct. And that's why we came up with the book, because doctors are not taught, doctors are still today not taught about osteoporosis of the skull. They think osteoporosis just occurs from the neck down. Okay. And we're talking about, you throw in osteoporosis of the skull, okay, and then you have other soft tissue things that go along with it that are all caused by the deficiency of a single nutrient. Okay, we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, MS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Parkinson's disease, frontotemporal dementia. I had a call today about Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, which is also known as mad cow disease, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And you get those things along with osteoporosis of the skull, you got a mess. Okay, but they're all fixable. And so we have many, many people who have been repaired with these issues because we treated the issues as they're supposed to be treated, giving the body what it needs to maintain and replace the tissues that went away because they weren't getting these nutrients in their diet for a variety of reasons. Sometimes because they just weren't there, sometimes because they were eating gluten and buckwheat with phagopyrene in it, and they couldn't absorb the nutrients even if they're supplementing. And so these are all these various things that go on there, and doctors just say, here, we'll take this painkiller. And that's
They
their
do. That's what they told me, Doc. And they said nothing about diet. And I loved the taste of my buckwheat pancakes and everything whole grain, and ground my own wheat berries. I made sure they were organic, and, you know, all the things that are quote unquote healthy. Yet I was getting sicker and sicker, and I couldn't understand it until I met you, Doc. And as Sportus says out on YouTube, he says he treated me like a dog, but I did get better. So folks, if you're kind of skeptical about the medical model because of experience, or every commercial that you hear, every other commercial that you see on TV is pushing another drug, there's a reason why you're skeptical. It's because there's a better option. And that's what we are sharing today. So thank you so much for joining us here. If you are here live with us in the Zoom room, we want to make sure that you know, if you have a question that you would like to ask, go to that Zoom menu, click on reactions, and raise your hand, like we have many people who have done so far already. If you have questions, and you're on any of the platforms, I have an amazing team. They're helping to monitor those different platforms so that we can get your questions asked and addressed also. And if you're not able to get on, or you want to have a personal response, or have me read the question for you, or one of my co-hosts, you can go to our DailywithDoc.com. You want to make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. Our newsletter right now is going out only once a week. It is sharing the replays, links to the replays, plus descriptions from previous week. That makes it easier for you to be able to find information when you do a search on your email. But most importantly, share it with somebody else so that they too can have this information and then make the decision as to whether or not they want a better alternative. So, Dr. Wallach, the first hand that we have up today kind of falls in with what you were talking about with some of the symptoms that I read that this gentleman is having. So, Randall, if you could please unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yes. How are you, Miss Sherry?
So, my name is Becca, and I'm doing
Okay.
fantastic. Miss Sherry, she's one of our co-hosts, and she's just outstanding. The doc is here to help you, so how can we help?
Okay. First, I'd like to say the 90 for life, I think, is what me and my wife are using. It's beginning to help her back. She said as she started using it, her back, I believe, I think she said within the first weeks you could feel it coming up 2 inches. And I think making it more limber is what she's saying. And now it's worked halfway up her back because she's kind of small. She's probably 5'1", 115, and she's had scoliosis her whole life. So I just want to thank Dr. Wallach for that and what he does. But finding Dr. Wallach through the internet, Mr. O'Brien O'Hare has reached out to me. You can see him right here to my right. And his health is failing him really bad. He's having a hard time keeping anything down. He's having diarrhea really bad. I've got probably 10 to 12 medicines right here that he's taking, and it doesn't matter what he does, what doctor he goes to, what type of medicine he gets on, nothing seems to help. So I'm wanting to reach out to you guys and see what you guys could do to help him out.
Okay, how much does he weigh?
How much do you weigh, Jerry?
I'm sorry, I can't hear him.
he's really feeble. He's probably about 5'7". I would guess maybe 120 to 140. Yeah, he says it's not even 120 or 140. So he said
Okay.
maybe 100 pounds right now.
Okay, does he have any other issues like high blood pressure or diabetes?
You got high blood pressure, diabetes? No, sir. He said he doesn't.
Okay,
Or at
does
least they haven't told him at the doctors that he does. That's what he told me.
okay, does he have any arthritis or osteoporosis?
You got arthritis or osteoporosis? He's kind of, his speech is kind of low. He said, no doctors have ever told him he has either of those issues, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, so here we go. He's getting rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no buckwheat because of the phagopyrines in buckwheat. No sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water because they neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Then at let's see here, we said what, 120 pounds, somewhere between 100 and 120 pounds.
Probably.
He needs one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. He needs 1 bottle a month of our MSM, so he can take 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner time. That's going to help him rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, matrix bone itself. He needs the ultimate enzymes. I want him to have the ultimate enzymes. He can take 2 of those before each meal, say 5 or 10 minutes for each meal, with a couple ounces of water. I also want him to have our Synaptive. He can get at his weight, he can get 1 bottle a month and take 1 or 2 Synaptive twice a day. And then he also needs our chewable I-26. Okay, it comes in vanilla ice cream, which I use, or you can use the banana coconut. Okay.
Okay.
And it will help rebuild the brain cells and the spinal cord cells and all that kind of stuff, so everything can talk to each other. And so let's go there. And it wouldn't hurt if he's not getting out and sunning himself a couple of days a week. He needs to get our vitamin D3 capsules also. And
He'll go out on the porch some, but most days he doesn't get around a whole lot.
Yeah. Okay, so he needs to take 2 or 3 a day of our vitamin D3 tablets. Okay.
By the way, I didn't think about bringing anything to Ryan. I've got all his medicines here.
This is all being recorded.
Okay, good deal.
Also, he needs a rebound or a sports drink. I like, they come in sticks. There's 30 sticks in a box. Has 100 nutrients in here. Has 100 nutrients, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. Pour it into a bottle of water. Okay. And his body weight, he could take 1 of those a day, take a half of it at breakfast and a half at lunchtime. Okay. And that's going to give him another source of those minerals and vitamins, which are going to help him rebuild his tissues. Okay. And
Okay.
let's go from there. Call us every couple of weeks.
Say that again, Dr. Wallach.
Call us every couple of weeks.
I can't quite.
It's toll free. Call us every couple of weeks. It's toll free. Doesn't cost you anything to call us and tell us what's going on.
Okay. Yes, sir. I'll gladly do that.
Okay. Thank you.
By the way, how can I access this so I can hear what you said here?
I'm going to tell you right now, Randall, and everybody else that is listening, we are live streaming, which almost immediately after the live stream ends, you can go to one of the platforms, whether you're watching on Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon, Amazon part. We have a channel on each of those, including Patreon, and Facebook, where you do a search for Critical Health News or Critical Health or Daily with Doc, and you will find us and find all of our replays. So I love the fact that we have those replays available almost instantly so that people can go to them, listen, fast forward, stop, replay, and write everything down. I know Dr. Wallach speaks fast, faster than me, But having those options are absolutely essential in helping us to be able to get what the information we need so we can put it into action. So Randall, thank you so much for coming on and wanting to help others in your community.
One last question. What about the medicines he's already taken? Do y'all have any advice about that? Or
Well, we have to know what they are before we give any advice. So you need to make a list. But usually if you have a prescription drug, you want to talk to the doctor about those.
okay, all right, because he's got probably 12 right here in front of me.
Yeah, so Randall, if you go to DailywithDoc.com and use that contact option, you can send us an email with that list. For the most part, folks, if you're on a pharmaceutical and you want to monitor at home whatever that pharmaceutical is controlling, okay? And if there are any type of food restrictions, you definitely want to take those into account, but definitely work with your primary care physician. They are probably not educated on the importance of nutrition, so they don't know exactly how they interact or will react, but we still want you to make sure that you are staying in contact with your doctor so that as they see the improvements also because of this intentional nutrition, it might wake them up to the fact that, hey, masking the symptoms are not the only option here.
That's
Okay.
why I'm reaching out to you guys. Have the answer. I understand that they don't. It's a money-making industry, but that's another conversation itself, right?
That's a conversation all in its own 24-hour segment, sir. So thank you again for coming on.
Okay,
And
thank you, ma'am.
Randall, you can find the list. Marilyn posted it in the chat.
Yes. So if you're here live with us, make sure that you have that chat option open, because we do have Marilyn, who is one of our co-hosts, who is absolutely fantastic at doing dictation and typing. And she has transcribed what Dr. Wallach mentioned as the protocol and put it in the chat. So make sure that you have that chat option open and do a screenshot or take a picture of it. If you're on the computer, have a phone, whatever it is, you can get that information and then take it to the coach that you're working with. If there is not a coach to thank and you found us on your own, you're more than welcome to reach out to one of my team at 855-949-3377. That is 855-949-3377. Again, they are available for people who have never spoken to anybody about Dr. Wallach, longevity, or any of the products and have not purchased products before. You can also go to our Daily with Doc website and use that contact us option as well. Let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach. And Gingy, go ahead and unmute yourself. And welcome to Daily with Doc. And I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, but if I did.
You said it perfect. Usually I'm on my phone and it says JT, so I'm the same one.
Oh, right. Welcome, Gingy. Dr.
Yes, how can we help you, sir?
Hi. So I've got a friend that I'm helping here, and he loved the idea of the 90 because he was already taking like 80% of what's in the daily, the 90 essential nutrients. And I got him hooked up with the digestion pack, and he really didn't like how sweet it was. He said he doesn't want to take any maltodextrin or fructose. And so I said, well, hey, check out the Keltades. They've got other stuff in there, or the Ultimate Daily Classic. And he said, oh, I really don't like the sodium benzenate. How do you have anything that you think could be a good substitute for him to get the baseline 90 that doesn't have those things in it? Or maybe something I can talk to him about why he doesn't like those ingredients?
Yeah, we need to find out why he doesn't like those ingredients. When you have a product that has, like Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has 215 ingredients in it. Okay. And so a lot of those ingredients work shoulder to shoulder with its next door neighbor ingredient. And you can't just take out a piece, otherwise you won't get the results you're looking for. So we have to find out why he doesn't like those ingredients.
Well, he said that sodium benzenate was a really nasty preservative, according to his research. And was diabetic and had AFib and a bunch of that stuff until he went keto. So he's trying to stay away from all of the sugars.
Well, so if he can add, if he has diabetes or even pre-diabetes, we have a product called Sweeties. You can take 3 of those twice a day, and that will support healthy blood sugar levels. And if he's on medication, don't cold turkey off the medication, but as the blood sugar begins to drop, he can reduce the medication based on the numbers. Okay. And we deal literally with thousands of people daily in 80 different countries with blood sugar problems, either reactive hypoglycemia or hypoglycemia, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, all, you name it. Blood sugar problems, we are world experts at that.
Awesome. I will bring that up to him because he may be still trying to manage his insulin resistance or something like he's been doing with keto. Can you speak a little bit about sodium benzenate as a preservative? Is it as bad as he thinks it is, or
no?
He's thinking of something different.
No, I'll have to do some research.
Okay, I will look into that too. All right, that's all I had. Thank you for answering some questions.
Thank you, Gingy. And that's a great question. I get that quite a bit, and I will speak a little bit to it. So, and I've actually spoken with Richard Rinton, one of our formulators, and also Steve Wallach, and we use the least amount of preservative as absolutely possible. Folks, if you were to take out all preservatives, you would be ingesting mold and bacteria and the things that are causing havoc within the body. So do you want to add more of those things that cause destruction and cause digestive issues? Or take something that is actually natural and use it as a preservative in the smallest amounts to be able to then take your supplements without them having a negative reaction within the body? So they're very, very picky on what ingredients they use, and everything has a specific purpose, whether it's an essential nutrient that's needed or one of those cofactors that allows the body to be able to utilize those essential nutrients to their fullest capabilities. So just a little bit of insight on that. Now let's go, Dr. Wallach, to Anne Marie. Anne Marie, go ahead and unmute yourself, and welcome to Daily with Doc.
Hello. I have a lady who is trying to save a tooth. Apparently the tooth has been getting infected repeatedly and is affecting her body. And she wants to know, is there some way that the dentist told her she has to have it removed, but removing it will hinder her from being able to wear the partial that she currently wears. So she's trying to see, is there any way she can save that tooth or get rid of the infection?
Well, is she getting antibiotics?
She didn't say she was getting antibiotics.
If she has an infection, she needs to be taking antibiotics to kill the infection.
It's a repeated long-term thing that's been going on, and they just want to simply take it out.
If she has an infection, she needs antibiotics.
Okay.
Okay. And to prevent my teeth from getting infections, I use a lot of mouthwash after each meal and before each meal and during the day. Okay, so I'm trying to kill and knock down the number of viruses and bacteria and fungus and yeast that I can. But we do have, when you have dental problems, your jawbone and the dental crescent in your skull, you get osteoporosis, and food gets down in there and begins to ferment and cause all kinds of problems and so forth. And if there's a constant problem, there's some other basic issue causing this constant problem. Okay, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, no barley, no oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go. Does she have osteoporosis? Does she have diabetes? Does she have high blood pressure? We need to know all those things. Does she have arthritis? Okay.
Yes, she does. She's on the 90.
Okay, good. All right, but she needs to stay away from the bad stuff so she can maximize absorption, utilization. Okay. So
Okay.
let's go there.
She does have erosion of the jaw bone.
Yeah, okay. So she needs some vitamin D3. We have wonderful vitamin D3. She needs to make sure she's taking enough of the MSM. How much does she weigh?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Okay, per 100 pounds of body weight, she needs 1 bottle of MSM. So you take a minimum of 3 twice a day.
She
Okay,
has been taking the MSM.
okay, good, good. And then, of course, colloidal silver, if she has an infection in there, she can take 2 droppers full of colloidal silver, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal, and 5 or 10 minutes for bedtime, and 5 minutes after she wakes up in the morning. Colloidal silver. Okay, I go through 2 of those. I think they're 4-ounce bottles or 6-ounce bottle, whatever it is, 4 or 6 ounces.
4 ounces.
4 ounces, yeah, that's what I thought. I go through 2 of those a month. Okay. And I have all my own teeth, except one was knocked out in a fight in a mall. 3 guys are trying to take my bags. Okay, but still, I'm 84 years old and I have all my own teeth. Don't have any of those problems because I use all the nutrients and I also use the colloidal silver. Contact
Okay.
us every couple of weeks.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anne Marie, for coming on. And Dr. Wallach, let's go right over to Ruth Ellen, who has her hand up for a client. Ruth Ellen, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, and thank you. I have a couple questions on YouTube. One is from Michelle. Can the good doctor tell me how to avoid kidney stones? I have started intermittent fasting and keto and don't want any issues. I have only 1 kidney due to being a living kidney donor.
Okay.
And no weight or anything, so let's just go by 100 pounds, please.
Okay, the kidney stones are caused by calcium deficiency. Kidney stones are caused by calcium deficiency. So your body starts pulling calcium out of the bones to maintain blood levels of calcium. And then, of course, it does some silly things and gets too much calcium out of there and it deposits in the kidneys as a kidney stone. And people say, I don't take any calcium supplements. I don't eat bones. Why am I getting kidney stones? Well, it's because you're not taking any calcium. You're not eating any bones. And so your body is pulling the calcium out of your bones to maintain healthy blood calcium levels, but it's overreacting. And so that's why you got kidney stones. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then I think it's Mian. How do you treat DVT naturally?
I'm sorry, how to treat what?
DVT. I'm not sure what that, Rebecca, do you know what that is?
Deep vein thrombosis.
Thank you. I couldn't remember.
Oh, she left out one initial. DVTD, okay. Okay, deep vein thrombosis, they need to make sure they're taking all 90 essential nutrients, including the EFAs. They can take per 100 pounds of body weight, they could take 1 or 2 EFAs twice a day. I take 2 of the EFAs twice a day and 2 of the EFA pluses twice a day. And some people might get some bleeding or something like that. If they get bumped around a little bit in their job or something, or they wrestle or weight lifts and stuff like that to get some bleeding. And so you want to kind of monitor what's going on. If you nick yourself shaving and you can't stop the bleeding during the day, you want to cut your EFAs down, okay? Because they will reduce pathological blood clotting, but they can't determine whether it's pathological or just natural, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. And then there's one more. Gary says his A1C is 6.7. He weighs 195 pounds. And he says night is 6. Oh,
His
height.
height.
His height is 6'1". His GFR is 49.5.
So that's the glomerular filtration rate, Dr. Wallach.
Glomerular.
You. And that was all the information I have.
Okay, well, you get rid of all the bad stuff. 195 pounds, needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Needs 2 bottles a month of the MSM, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. You also need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, get 2 bottles a month there, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So, Dr. Wallach, we were talking about hard tissue in the beginning and the importance of keeping strong bones. And then we were talking about the kidneys, which is soft tissue, and getting kidney stones because it's pulling the calcium out of the bones because there's not enough calcium in the diet. So that just goes to prove that when you are working on one area of health, you're actually affecting all areas of health.
That is correct. That is correct.
And when deficiency in one, it's actually affecting other areas of health, which is why you have the 90 essential nutrients that address the body as a whole, correct?
That is correct. That's why in the beginning we said, we're not going to really be pushing one vitamin or one mineral. We are pushing the 90, and then we have what we call secret sauces, which go along with individual diseases. But the secret sauces are add-ons to the 90. And so people always want to know, what's in that secret sauce? Well, we used to tell people what was in there, and they just run to the grocery store and buy that one mineral or 2 minerals. And then 3 months later, they would die because they weren't taking everything. They were just trying to, save a few bucks, so they threw their life away.
And many times, Dr. Wallach, you do have people that are coming to you in very, very poor health. Folks, don't wait until you're getting to the almost too late period to wake up and realize that there is some great value in making sure that you yourself intentionally are paying attention to what you are and aren't putting in your mouth. Now, Dr. Wallach has mentioned the good foods, bad foods list a few times. You can find that list on our website, DailywithDoc.com. And we have the good foods, we have the bad foods. And for me, I am human. You tell me I can't have something. It used to be, I would just want it more. But it's because I was nutritionally deficient and I had those cravings. You tell me I can't have something, I just mentally, because I had some mental stuff going on too, that's what I was driven to. But folks, you give your body those full essential 90 essential nutrients, and even the brain can think better. Dr. Wallach, let's go to one more question that we have. And Miss Hattie, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Wallach, I was on Facebook a few weeks ago and I stepped into a chat and a woman was talking about how she just fell. And she was very concerned about it. And the other women in the chat began to share similar experiences where they just fell. And it was like, what do you do about that? The woman who began the chat said that her doctor wanted her to have a bone density test, but she wasn't on any medications and she's like frantic now. You stand up and you fall for no apparent reason. So what is that? What's going on?
Okay.
And I don't have her information. I apologize.
Well, the first thing she needs to do is get a walker or a cane or something so she doesn't keep falling. Okay. You just go to any pharmacy and get a walker, a little lightweight walker or a cane. And that way she'll reduce the numbers of falls she has. Because you get a fracture, then you're in trouble, if you're a senior. Then per 100 pounds body weight, she may have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And so she is very common to fall when you have osteoporosis of the skull, because the spinal cord gets squeezed by the skull and all those nerves from the neck down go to sleep, and the body can't figure out what to do, so it just falls down. Okay, that's one possibility. So per 100 pounds of body weight, one healthy brain and heart pack per month divided up a half. She weighs 110 pounds, a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose of dinner time. Then she also needs the MSM per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle of MSM, take 3 twice a day. It's going to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes bone cell. And then she also needs the collagen peptides. Get a scoop of that with her morning drink, scoop with her evening drink. That's going to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes bone cell. We also want her to have our rebound, our sports drink. We have the sticks. There's 30 sticks in a box. There's no carbonation in it, but it does give you 75 more minerals and 25 more vitamins, amino acids to help maintain what's going on in your joints and your bones and so forth, in the brain and so on. Okay. And so that's kind of a place to start. And then, get more information, give us a call.
All right, thank you, Miss Hattie. And Dr. Wallach, you had mentioned something about the rebound and having, all these nutrients in it. I know so many people that don't drink a lot because they don't want to have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time. Well, folks, many times, and you've heard Dr. Wallach ask, how many times do you get up in the night, go to the restroom? And then relating that to osteoporosis of the skull. But if you're dehydrated, your whole body is dehydrated. You're not getting the fluids that your body needs in order to make blood, right, Dr. Wallach?
Correct.
And dehydration, things start to shrink. They don't function as well. So rebound and adding that to your diet is your daily intake would be a fabulous option for people who don't even like to drink water, which I don't understand, but there are people out there, Doc. So I know that you love Rebound. I'm a loving Rebound. I love it in the canister, the powder, or even the sticks, just quickly adding it to water, great flavor, and gives extra little boost of energy. Plus, I know I'm getting all those minerals and nutrients that are supportive for healthy living. So Dr. Wallach, I know you have to get going to your next program. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. And we will see you next time.
Hey, thank you for all you do, you and your team. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless everybody out there. See you later.
God bless you too, Dr. Wallach. Bye for now. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, that would be greatly appreciated. Folks, you are watching Daily with Doc. This program is being brought to you by DailywithDoc.com, which we are just a handful of the many, many amazing people that are part of this crusade with Dr. Wallach as associates of longevity and people who many are certified holistic health coaches that have gotten that certification through the Institute of Holistic Health. Make sure that you get back with them or reach out to us and get more information about this course. It's an affordable course. It has a payment plan. You don't have to want to be a health coach to get this information. The value in it can be implemented into your own health, your own families, and then, of course, shared with people you know and love when the time arises. But make sure that you are arming yourself, putting tools in your toolbox, both mentally as knowledge and physically through intentional supplementation, so that you can be the best you for those who are around you and depend on you. Now, I don't like to be dependent on anybody, but the people that you see on the screen with me right now, I have grown to become dependent in a healthy way, because I have my executive production manager, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, which just helps to organize everything for me. I used to do it in the beginning on my own, and in the beginning it wasn't so bad, but now it has become a job that is beyond myself, and I'm so thankful to have her with me on this journey and helping to make this all happen for you, folks. We're here for you. And her assistant production manager, AJ, who is helping us get this out on even more platforms like Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart. Some of these I don't even know what the icon stands for. But folks, if you're watching this program, let us know that you're there. Put a comment in the chat, in the comments, like us, subscribe to our channels, and share this information so we can all work together to have healthier communities and a healthier world. And AJ, with all of his knowledge and experience and technical stuff, I just thank you, AJ, for all that you do as being part of this team. And then we have Marilyn, who is typing frantically. I mean, we got to make sure she keeps her collagen and her glucogel, and in addition to the 90 essential nutrients, to keep those fingers limber so that she can continue to get this information typed into the chat for all of you who are here live with us. So thank you, Marilyn, for using that amazing skill. I used to do that myself, and yeah, I got to where it was more than I could do. So I couldn't do it without you, Marilyn. Thank you so much for adding that to our team. And Sherry, who is coming to us from other certification programs where she was missing the solution that really worked. And she is here as one of our amazing coaches who is helping to let people in, answer questions, watch the cameras, and make sure that it's a safe place for everybody to be. So thank you, Sherry. You add more than just what I asked or mentioned, but all of my team and those that are not with us today, and those that aren't part of the Zoom team, that are part of my critical health news team and all that they do. Folks, like I said, we are just a small handful of people who have a passion to help others. If you were shared this program by somebody specific, get back with them and tell them thank you. If there's nobody to thank, go to our website, DailywithDoc.com, and send us an email. Let us know that you are interested in knowing what you can do to help yourself, because you are an empowered individual, and we're on this planet to be a resource for you. So my name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program, it is my privilege and honor. Thank you so much for joining us on Daily with Doc. We will not be here Thursday or Friday this week, so make sure that you go and catch some of the replays that you have missed in the past, and we will see you next week on Daily with Doc. Bye for now.